The Deliverance ends its scary haunted house drama on a positive note, where the central family finally finds peace after experiencing a series of terrifying events. Based on a true story, The Deliverance begins like any other haunted house film, where a family moves to a new home, unaware of its dark history. Although things seem normal at first, the members of the family start noticing that a bad smell surrounds their house and flies keep coming out of their basement. When they ignore these initial signs, things gradually get darker when the younger members of the family start getting possessed by an unknown dark force. Determined to save her children, Ebony and her mother, Alberta, set out to find the truth behind what is happening in their home and how it is impacting their children. In the Netflix horror movie's final arc, Ebony comes face to face with the demon that possessed her children. However, to overcome the evil forces in her home, she must first battle some of her own demons. The Deliverance is allegedly based on the true story of the Ammons family, who, like the Jacksons, moved to a new rental home in November 2011. Like the family from the movie, the Ammons started noticing big black flies on their porch in December, which seemed strange, especially because it was the peak of winter. Things took a grim turn when the family not only heard footsteps coming up from their basement, but also started noticing shadowy figures in their home. One night, at 2 a.m., Latoya Ammons' 12-year-old daughter started levitating over her bed and later claimed to have no memories of the event. As the hauntings got worse, Ammons and her mother reached out for help and got in touch with clairvoyants who told them more than 200 demons were lurking in their home. Owing to this, the case is also commonly referred to as the 200 Demons House. As shown in the movie, Ammons, her mother, and her children could not move out of the home because of their financial situation. Therefore, they made several provisions to protect themselves from demonic possessions. However, things only got worse, and, as shown in The Deliverance, Ammons' children became the primary targets of the evil forces. Although the film dramatizes several aspects of the real account, some of its most disturbing moments, like the one where the youngest son walks up a wall, are based on real-life claims. Ebony's narrative in The Deliverance is primarily driven by her struggles with faith. While her mother keeps asking her to quit drinking and encourages her to restore her faith in God, Ebony finds it hard to have a positive outlook towards her life due to her circumstances. However, towards the end of the film, she sets out to strengthen her faith, because she realizes that it is the only way she can protect her family. With Reverend Bernice's guidance, she understands that her sense of faith does not have to be in tandem with her mother's. It can purely be driven by her desire to find justice and the strength to fight for her kids. Although her faith in God initially remains a little feeble, she gains the drive to seek Jesus Christ's help toward the end of her film, when the demon weaponizes her vulnerabilities to harm her children. As a result, Jesus uses her body and soul as a vessel to fight the demon, eventually sending him back to where he came from. With this, all ends well for the family after they manage to protect themselves against the evil forces through the power of believing in God. Before proceeding with the Deliverance, Bernice tells Ebony that taking God's name without faith would mean nothing. This is when Ebony tells her that she tried to talk to God when she was younger, hoping that he would stop a series of traumatic incidents that permanently scarred her. To her dismay, nothing happened, leading her to lose her faith. Bernice reminds her that her relationship with God is not transactional. She must believe in him not only to protect her children from the demon, but also to know that God loves her. In its final moments, the Netflix horror movie ties Ebony's childhood trauma to the central demon possessions, highlighting how she must confront the darkness before finding the light and restoring her faith in God. When she finally gains the strength to fight the demon to protect her children, she not only finds a new sense of faith, but also gains the courage to confront the demons of her past. This, in turn, allows her to break free from the cycles of trauma she seemingly inherited from her mother, which prevents her children from becoming heirs to the same burdens and pain. When Ebony asks Bernice why the demon is targeting her and her family, she tells her that he preys on the weak and the vulnerable. Since Ebony was drifting away from God and moving closer to picking up vices like alcoholism, her familial ties with her mother and her kids were gradually falling apart. The demon knew that she had rejected God a long time ago, encouraging him to drag her and her family down to hell. However, just when the demon thought he had them, Ebony rediscovered her lost strength by having faith in God and seeking redemption. With a Rotten Tomatoes score of 34%, the Deliverance has not received favorable reviews from critics. However, if the film manages to drive decent numbers on Netflix, the streamer might consider turning it into a full-fledged movie franchise. Although the Deliverance's ending leaves little to no room for a potential sequel, its follow-up could be a prequel focusing on the dark experiences of the family that lived in the house before the Jacksons. Or, The Deliverance 2 could revolve around a whole new family that moves to the same haunted house and finds themselves grappling with its malevolent forces.